starting on all fours. I'm going to set myself up onto hands and knees, locking the shoulders against the back of the rib cage. Draw an imaginary line from your fingertips at one end to the other side. What I want is with the tip of my nose is to go past that line. So I'm going to come forward into the arms and then bending the elbows. I'm going to lower the chest down, see if I can go past the fingers. Then I'm going to push my way back and then I'm going to try again. See if I can go a little bit further this time. So I'm going to go forward into the arms, bending the elbows, and then see if I can ease myself a little bit further forward and then coming back. The further forward you go, the more load you get through the tricep. But see if you can try and at least get past the fingertips, as if my nose is dropped between my hands. The tendency is to sit backwards. As I sit backwards, there is no weight going through the arms. I want the weight to go into the arms. So I'm going to load it into the arms. I'm going to carry it down and towards the ground, and then I'm going to push it away, making the belly work in the middle, making sure that I'm not sagging, I'm not collapsing through. So nice and strong, nice and solid, lowering. I'm pushing away, lifting back. I'm going to try 3 more times. And back. 2. And back. Last one. And back. And releasing back. Pushing back into shell, unloading the arms, relaxing the shoulders, unloading the wrist. I'm going to try again. I'm happy where I am. I don't need to make any change. I'm just going to go back and do the same. If I felt that that was quite easy, then this time I'm going to extend a little bit further. So I'm going to get into a 3/4 position. If you're getting into the 3/4, just making sure that your hips and your shoulders are moving in sync. But it's still the chest that is trying to come down to the floor. It's not suddenly my belly and my hips that are going down, so I'm not sagging down. So that's not my arms working. This is my back arching. What I want is for my chest to drop, but the hips to stay slightly higher. So choosing the option that suits you better, going back into your box, extending out into the 3/4. If you can, I'm going to bend the elbows and then tip of the nose going past the fingertips. I'm going to lower myself down, pushing away, coming back, and then I'm going to try again. Lower down, past the fingertips, push away, drive back. So feeling the back of the arm, the front of the chest, the front of the shoulders, all working together to create that movement. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, chest down, hips up, 9, last one, and releasing back, pushing back into shell again, unloading the wrists, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the arms, a little rest there. I'm going to try one more time. Again, I'm happy where I am. I'm happy in the box. I'm going to stay in the box position. 3/4 works for me. I'm going to stay there. If I can, I'm going to get into a full press up. If you're going into a full press up, making sure that you've got the strength to go there. As the tendency is to kind of like do that kind of thing, or that kind of thing, which is not a push up, it's just a flop. So exactly the same as you did in the 3/4. If I'm going up into the full press up, I still want my chest to come down, not my belly and my hips or my thighs. So it's still the upper body that gets close to the ground, but the hips or the belly and the thighs are never touching the floor. So choosing the option that suits you better, going back in the box, 3/4, or if I can, getting up into that full press up. And then when you're ready, bending the elbows, tip of the nose past the fingertips, I'm going to lower myself down. Push away, coming back, trying again, 2. And back, 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8, tight through the belly, down with the chest, 9, last one, make those arms work, push away, stretching back. Unloading the wrists, stretching the arms, relaxing the shoulders. This is a little bit more connection through the shoulder girdle and the upper body. I'm going to try and see if I can use that connection to help me support. This time focusing a little bit more into the back. So lowering yourself all the way down until you're resting on your front. I'm going to set the arms into a loose box position so the elbows are bent, the hands are just a little bit further forward than the top of the head, so not too close to you. Allowing the head to come down, drawing the shoulders down and away from the head, connecting the shoulders to the back. And then when you're ready, reaching forward from the crown of the head, I'm going to start lifting and lengthening my way through. Extending through the upper back. Maintaining that lift through the upper back. If I feel that the lower back is happy to go, then I'm going to push down through the palm of the hands, and then I'm going to keep that lift going, extending through into the lower back too. Then I'm going to ease my way back in reverse, and then trying again. The furthest away your hands are from the shoulders, the more gentle the extension is, as I can't push myself very high. The closer my hands are to the shoulders, the sharper the extension becomes. So try to find the right distance between the hands and the shoulders that allows you to extend, allows you to move into extension, but without creating pain. So it's nothing is pinching, nothing is catching into the lower back. There is no pain coming down the legs. This is no referred pain, no sciatica shooting down the legs. And then as you're happy that you've got your range of movement, see if you can think of the movement. I'm going upwards into the lift. So can I make sure that it's not just my arms are going up and then the rest of the body sagging in? Can I try and lift my way out of the arms, or can I try and overtake the arms and then really trying to lift up and towards the ceiling? And then I'm going to ease my way back. So finding the same connection that you had on the press up, into the back of the shoulders, through the arms, but this time trying to use that connection to help me support the extension, to help me support the lift into the back. 5. Whichever way around you want to breathe, out as you go up, in as you go up, as far as you breathe and not holding the breath. 4. 3. 2. Last one. And releasing back. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, releasing the shoulders, releasing the back. And then I'm going to switch the effort. This time trying to work at the other end, working into the hips, into the legs, working into hip extension. So bending the knees, walking the knees up close to the elbows. So resetting your all fours the same as before. But this time, instead of coming up onto the hands, I'm going to drop down onto the forearms. The hips should be higher than the shoulders, as a line that goes slightly up and towards the ceiling. What I want is to use the leg to follow through with that line. Shuffling the knees a little bit closer together. I'm going to start sliding the right leg behind me. I'm going to lock the leg nice and straight to the back. So make the front of the thigh work, same as you did on your press up position. Squeezing the back of the bum, I'm going to lift that leg up as high as I can, making sure that the lift is coming from your hip. So it's the hip that is extending, not the back that is sagging and collapsing. So I'm not leaning forward into the arms, I'm trying to reach away from the arms. So hard, so far, that I find that there is very little way to going into my arms. So little that I can do pretty much whatever I want with the arms. Then I'm going to ease the leg back, and then I'm going to try again. Same leg, same movement. I'm going to extend my way up, reaching it behind, making the hip and making the glute work, making sure that you're not twisting around, you're still square to the mat. Easing back, and then trying again. 3, extend, and pull back. 4, and back. 5, and back. Nice straight leg still. 6, full extension into the hip. 7, 8, 9, 10. Last one. Hold it there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back. Pushing back into shell. Stretching through the hips, so giving the lower back, the back of the bum, a little bit of a release, a little bit of a stretch. I'm going to try exactly the same thing on the left side, or the other leg if you were doing the other leg already. So same as before, I'm going to reset myself back on all fours. Forearms are locked, the shoulder blades against the back of the rib cage, the knees are nice and close together. I'm going to extend the left leg behind, straightening up the leg, feeling the front of the thigh tensing to hold the leg straight. And then with the back of the bum, I'm going to squeeze my leg up into that lift. Think of the straight line from the foot to coming down the leg, into the hip, into the rib cage, into the shoulders, making sure that you're pulling back with that leg. So again, the arms are feeling nice and light. There is no much weight going through my arms, so they feel quite relaxed. Then I'm going to ease my way back, and then I'm going to try that again. Making sure that you're not twisting the hips, so the pelvis is still square to the front. The back is not arching, the belly is not just hanging and collapsing through the middle. 3, extending through, making the back of the hip, making the back of the bum work. And then come back. 4, and back. 5, and back. 6, control the lifting, control the lowering. 7, 8, 9, 10. Last one. Hold it there. Nice and long, nice and long, nice and strong. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Pushing back into shell. Reaching back from the hips forward through the arms. See if I can create a nice long traction that goes from the arms down into the rib cage, around the lower back, into the hips, around the back of the bum. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. So there's a little bit more connection at the back of the hips too. I've got nice good connection through the shoulders and upper body. I'm going to try and see if I can put the two together. So going back into your swan, going back on your front, resetting the arms in the same position as they were before. So hands are close to the shoulders or further away from the shoulders if I know that the back is not too happy about the extension. So the legs are extended behind this time. I'm going to try and connect the upper back with the lower back and the hips. So taking a deep breath in to prepare. As I breathe out, I'm going to start extending into the upper body. So lifting the head and the top of the chest, pushing through the arms are coming up into extension. As you come down, so if you can think of the back of the bum already locking tight, holding onto the leg, I'm going to lower myself down and then I'm going to either lift both legs on one leg at a time. So as the chest goes down, I'm going to lift one or both legs up. Then as the leg goes down, the chest comes up again. If I'm working single leg, I'll be alternating the legs. So the other leg will come up. If I'm working double, then I'm going to lift both legs. And then I'm going to ease my way back. So think of a little rocking movement from the front to the back, from the back to the front, from the front to the back, from the back to the front. So like a rocking horse or a rocking chair. So if you can keep that nice rounded shape that is encouraging that movement. So making sure that it's not two separate movements. This is not just the legs and then the upper body. See if I can find the strong connection all the way through the back line, from your shoulders all the way into the back of your heels. See if I can keep it tight, maintaining that shape, but to allow that rocking forward and back. I'm going to try 2 more times. So extending my way through and then reversing with the legs. And then the legs go down, the chest comes up one more time. The chest goes down, the legs come up, and then I'm going to release everything back. Pushing back into shell again, sending the hips back and towards the feet, lengthening through the back, through the arms, through the shoulders. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. So it's a little bit more connection, front and back of the body. I'm going to try and do a little bit of work in side line, inside of the body. So lowering yourself all the way down until you're resting on your side. Full side line, so the body straighter from your fingertips to the feet. If I find that I can't put my arm that way, my shoulder won't let me, it's too stiff, it's too painful, then I'm just going to get the arm out of the way and then wrapping the arm around the block, I'm just going to rest the head on top of the block. Once the upper body is set, then focusing on the legs. The legs are straight, both of them. Inside of the belly, trying to support from underneath, at the front of the belly connected at the front. So I'm not slouching and collapsing, I'm not all twisted there. The lower back is soft, the upper back is soft, so there's no tension through the back. I'm going to rest the top arm to the front and then I'm going to focus on the top leg. I'm going to reach both legs away along the floor, but the top leg is the one that I'm going to be moving. First thing, I'm going to get into a little hip flexion. So I'm going to reach the leg up until it's level with the hips. And then pulling the knee up towards the chest to see if you can get the knee to touch your arm. So hip flexion. Then I'm going to extend the leg away again. If that was easy, I'm going to walk my arm a little bit further. And then again, can I try and get the knee to touch the arm? And then easing back. Making sure that the movement is a hip flexion, not a back flexion. So the bottom leg is still reaching long down the mat. It's not suddenly bending. The hips are not curling forward. It's not the all of the body that is coming forward. It's just that top leg. So see if I can get that nice deep hip flexion going into that top side. If the leg drops, if the knee drops, then you're closing the space into the hips. You're limiting your range of movement. So see if you can make sure that the knee is staying lifted, not too high, but reasonably lifted so that nothing is catching in the hip or the groin. Once that I'm happy that I've got a good loose movement into the hip, into the leg, then I'm going to see if I can add a little bit more. So the next one, if you want to make it more challenging, I'm going to pull the knee to the arm. I'm going to extend the leg as much as I can, and then swinging it round, I'm going to bring it back. Then again, I'm going to take the knee to the arm, extend away, and then round, and come back into a big pedaling movement, so as if you were sitting on a oversized bicycle and desperately trying to get that massive pedal around, and then trying again. Just making sure that as you're getting that movement going, your hips are not coming off the saddle. So as the leg extends away, I'm not suddenly dropping the hips, I'm not suddenly rolling through the hips or through the pelvis. So see if I can hold the pelvis still, and then it's just the leg that is moving. 5, up to the arm, extend and round. 4, up to the arm, extend and round. 3, up, 2, last one, and releasing back. Letting the knee slip forward, giving the hip a little tap, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. It's a little bit more activation, and then work through the hip. I'm going to stay with the hip, I'm going to stay with the side line, but this time I'm going to try and see if I can change the direction of the movement. So instead of trying to circle to the front, I'm going to try and kick to the ceiling. So keeping the supporting arm at the front to begin with, taking it away if you feel quite balanced there. The bottom leg is still straight, the top leg. I'm going to externally rotate, so I'm going to turn so that the toes are pointing up to the ceiling, and then I'm going to try and send the leg up to the ceiling, so I'm going to kick it up that way. Then I'm going to flex the foot to pull the leg back, and then again lift and drop, lift and drop. So see if you can find the right position that allows the leg to move comfortably into the hip joint. It could be a small lift, it could be a medium lift, it could be a big lift. It depends on how loose the hip feels. I'm not forcing anything. If I feel comfortable enough here, I feel that I go a nice loose movement, easy movement on the hip. I want to try and do a little bit more. Then I'm going to focus on the way down. As the foot comes down, think of tapping the heel of the foot in front of the resting leg. Then I'm going to lift again, and then I'm going to tap it behind. So I'm going to go front and back, front and back. Just making sure that the hips are not suddenly rolling manically forward and back onto the mat. Just to see if I can keep stability through the center. 5, front, back, 4 and back, 3 and back, 2, last one, and releasing back, letting the hip relax. So there's a little bit more range, a little bit warmer through the hip too. Swinging the legs to the front, pushing yourself up into sitting. I'm going to do exactly the same thing to the other side. So taking the legs straight down the other way, setting yourself into that side line again. Same as you did on the other side, using the block of the arm to support the head. Both legs are straight, center connected, the back is nice and soft, I'm not arching, my chest is not pushing forward, I'm not stiffening through the back. Supporting arm is at the front, I'm going to reach and lengthen into the top leg, lifting the leg up slightly. And then same as on the other side, bending the knee, I'm going to try and bring the knee to the arm. Extending away, too easy, I'm going to walk the arms a little bit higher. Too hard, I'm going to bring it down slightly. So I should just about to be able to get my knee to the arm and then extend away. So again, think of that deeper flexion, the front of the hip, the front of the belly working together to create that pull. Making sure that you're not taking the hips with you, so the pelvis is not curling forward, the bottom leg is not bending, you're not dragging it along the mat. And then same as on the other side, making sure that the leg is not dropping as you're pulling it, as that will close the hip. It won't allow a good range. So see if I can give myself as much space as possible as the leg comes towards me. Without exaggeration, I don't want to pull it to the ceiling. I just want to try to keep a little bit higher at the front and then extending away. And then same as on the other side, if I feel that I can progress, I want to make it a little bit more challenging, then I'm going to start introducing my bicycle. So I'm going to pull the knee up to the arm, extend the leg away, and then round to come back, bending the knee, pulling it into the arm, extend away, swing it around to come back, and then trying again. But same as on the other side, to see if you can be aware of the leg moving into the hip socket without dragging the pelvis around, so the hips are not rolling forward and back, the back is not twisting, the body's staying, just that leg is moving. 5, extend, swing round. 4, knee to the elbow, knee to the arm, extend and back. 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, letting the knee slip forward, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. So a little bit more activation into the hip, is a little bit more movement, control through the hips. I'm going to change the direction of the movement. I'm going to go for the lift. So same as before, setting the legs one on top of the other, supporting arm down in front or by the side, whichever way it works best. I'm going to reach long into the legs. I'm going to externally rotate the top leg, so toes pointing to the ceiling, and then I'm going to kick that leg up and towards the ceiling. See how far I can go with this one. Flexing the foot, I'm going to lower the leg back, pointing, I'm going to lift, flex, I'm going to come down. So noticing how different this side feels compared to the other. This side might feel a lot looser, it might feel a little bit more restricted. I'm not forcing anything, just noticing the difference. If I feel that I can progress it, once that I've got that nice loose kick going, then see if I can, same as before, as the foot comes down, I'm going to tap the heel of the foot in front of the resting leg, then come back, and then I'm going to tap it to the back. So I'm going to go from the front, up to the back, up to the front, up to the back. Toes pointing up, trying to keep the leg straight as you go up, as you come down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, letting the knee slip forward, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg, so it's a little bit warmer, a little bit more supple onto the side as well. I'm going to change the direction of the load, see if I can bring it straight into the belly. So rolling over onto your back, I'm going to curl both knees up into the chest, rocking the legs forward and back a few times, trying to adjust to the back, adjust to the hips. So the lower back is in imprint, is pressing into the ground. The hips are curling up in the air, the bum is not on the ground, the tailbone is pointing up and towards the ceiling. See if you can try and maintain that tension at the front of the belly to help maintain that curl. So I'm going to tighten up from the bottom of the abdomen, see if I can pull up towards the top. Reaching the hands to the back of the head, I'm going to tighten up from the top, and then I'm going to pull down to the bottom. So lifting the head and the shoulders off the ground. Just trying to picture your head going nice and upright on top of the chest. So imagine your nose to be going between your knees. I'm going to maintain that strong tension and then just focus on that tension. I'm going to take a deep breath in. As I breathe out, I'm going to extend my right leg away as far as you want to go, as far as you don't drop the bum to the ground. So I'm not doing that kind of thing. So the hips are not rocking up and down, the hips are staying up, the leg is just loading. And I'm going to pull back the right, extend the left. Pull back the left, extend the right. Pull back the right, extend the left. And then keep alternating one side and the other. If I've got a good control, then the hips should be holding perfectly still. They shouldn't be bouncing up and down. So see if you can try and find the control at the bottom of the belly as well as the top. If the head starts becoming a bit too heavy, then I'm just going to put head and shoulders on the ground and then see if I can keep going with the legs. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Dropping the feet back down, extending the legs away, extending the arms away, stretching down the front of the belly, stretching down the front of the hips. I've got a little bit more control at the front as I can feel that compression, I can feel the contraction that is shortening the belly and then compressing it down. I'm going to try and see if I can go back, doing the same as before, or see if I can start adding the arms this time. To add the arms, you need to be able to let go of the head. To let go of the head, I need to feel comfortable with my neck. So at any point the neck starts over recruiting or stiffening too much, my hands are going to go back on the head. So bending the knees, walking the feet up and towards you, curling the knees into the chest. I'm going to reach the hands to the back of the head, lifting the head and the shoulders off the ground, keeping the hands there if you feel that I need that support, I can't let go. Let go of the head if you can. With that left hand, I'm going to reach onto the right knee. With the right hand, I'm going to reach and then trying to touch the little toe on the right foot. I'm going to hold that right leg close to the chest. I'm going to extend the left leg away. Then I'm going to swap the legs and swap the arms. I want the right hand to tap the knee and then the left hand to tap the side of the foot. And then I'm going to try the other side. And then the other side. And then the other side. So think of that nice gentle reach from side to side, making sure the same as before, the hips are not rocking and rolling, the body's not all over the place, it's just the legs that are moving and then the arms that are following through. Looking where the hand is going, the one that is touching the foot, to see if I can follow it through, adding a little side to side, encouraging the side of the belly to do a little bit more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing down. Dropping the feet down, extending the legs away, extending the arms away, stretching down the front of the belly, stretching down the front of the hips. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Bring the arms back by the side. There's a little bit more activation at the front of the belly too. I'm going to try and see if I can get a little bit more, but this time focusing more onto the upper body. So bending the knees, walking the feet up and towards you. Try to bring the feet as close to the hips as possible, as the tendency will be to wanting to walk the feet away. At no point you should be able to sit up, so that they're close. I'm going to reach both hands to the back of the head, the same as I did before, working in a range. Elbows pointing straight up at the ceiling, so the shoulders feel loose, the neck feels relaxed. I'm going to tuck the chin again towards the chest and then lifting the head and the shoulders off the ground. I'm going to curl up as high as I can. Maintaining that lift, I'm going to let go with the arms, grab hold of the legs, back of the leg, back of the thigh. I'm going to pull myself a fraction higher, so see if I can curl myself up a little bit more. Maintaining that lift. Now don't drop, feel the belly tightening to hold you there. Let go with the arms and stay there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands to the head, shoulders and head go back onto the ground. I'm going to try again, but I'm going to change the load just slightly. I'm going to bring it across. So tilting the chin, lifting the head, lifting the shoulders, coming up, hold that lift. let go with the left hand and then reach across to your right leg. I'm going to pull myself up higher, so the left shoulder is already up high. What I want is for the right shoulder blade to come clear off the mat. So I'm going to try and pull myself up, hold it there, let go with the left arm, don't drop. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands go back to the head, easing your way all the way back down onto the mat. I'm going to try the same to the other side. Tilting the chin, lifting the head, lifting the shoulders, coming up. Give me the twist. Right hand reaching across to the left leg, hooking the hand behind the leg. Pull your left shoulder blade off the ground. Hold it there. Let go with the arm. Don't drop. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands go back to the head. Shoulders and head go back onto the mat. I'm going to try again, going through the middle. So tilting the chin, lifting the head, lifting the shoulders, straight lifter through the center, let go of the head, grab hold of the legs, pull yourself a fraction higher. Hold yourself there using the belly, let go with the arms and don't drop. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands go back to the head, shoulders and head go back onto the mat. Little rest for the belly. I'm going to try to the side one more time. So hands to the head, tilting the chin, lifting the head, lifting the shoulders, coming up. Hold the lift, let go with the left hand, reach across to the right leg. Pull in the right shoulder blade, clear off the mat. Hold it there, let go with the arm, don't drop. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hand to the head, shoulders and head go back onto the mat. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So last time. Hands to the head, tilting the chin, lifting the head, lifting the shoulders, coming up. Twist into the other side, right hand to the left leg. Pull yourself a fraction higher, see if you can get the left shoulder blade off the mat. And then maintaining that lift, let go with the arm, don't drop. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hand to the head, shoulders and head go back onto the mat. Allowing the belly to stretch, reaching the arms up and behind, lengthening and pulling away from the legs, stretching long down the front, stretching long down the side of the body. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back. Bring the arms back by the side, reaching forward into the arms, tilting the chin to the chest, lifting the head, lifting the shoulders. Strong through the center, all the way back up to the top. As you get to the top, taking the legs around to the side, let's see if we can get a little bit of an opening going down through the front of the hips. Coming up and around until you're back on your hands and knees. I'm going to keep my right knee down on the floor. I'm going to step forward with the left foot. I'm going to shuffle the right knee away until I feel that the right hip is really opened up. So making sure that the knee is not here as the hip will be closing, so there won't be any stretch going on. So see if I can really shuffle it back. I'm going to set both hands on the inside of that left leg and then squeezing down with the hips, pushing the hips down and towards the ground. I'm going to lift up onto the fingertips of both hands. Imagine to be able to put your chest on the wall in front of you. So I'm going to try and lift up through the chest, keeping the fingers down onto the ground as if I start lifting the hands up higher. The tendency is to lift everything up. I just want the chest to go up, but the hips to still pull down. And then if I feel that the stretch is still reasonable, I can make it deeper, tucking the toes under on that right foot, and then without letting the bum go up in the air, see if you can take that right knee off the ground, encouraging a stronger opening into that right hip. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Taking both legs behind, pushing back into shell, allowing the hips to reset, the back, the legs are to relax, and then I'm going to repeat exactly the same thing on the left side. So when you're ready, pushing yourself back up onto hands and knees. The left knee stays down, the right foot steps forward. And I'm going to reach both hands on the inside of the right leg, and then shuffling that left knee away, see if I can get that opening into the front of that left hip. Squeezing with the back of the bum, the hips are down and towards the ground. And then at the same time, see if I can lift the chest as if I was trying to put the chest flat on the wall in front of me. If I'm happy here, I'm going to stay here. If I can make it stronger, tucking the toes under on that foot, and then see if I can get the knee to lift away without my bum shooting up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing back. Taking both legs behind, pushing back into shell, allowing the hips to reset, the shoulders, the back, the hips to relax. When you're ready to release, I'm curling all the way back. Taking the legs around to the side, bringing to the front, finding a comfortable seated position. The chest is lifted, the head is lifted, sitting on a block if you feel that you need a little bit more raise, to sit longer, to sit taller. Taking a deep breath in, reaching the arms out to the side, lifting everything up and towards the ceiling. Releasing back, trying again, 2. And back, one more time. Lifting up as high as you can, shoulders down. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take your bow. Give yourself a couple there. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll see you next.